Interesting TCM and Acupuncture. Free TCM Lectures by Professor Wu. Part 13. Explanation of the meridians and collaterals. Key points. Meridians and collaterals are what moves qi and blood in the human body, connect the organs, connect inner and outer, and connect the upper and lower body along a vertical path. The meridian system is composed of meridians and collaterals. The meridians include the 12 meridians and the 8 extraordinary meridians. Contents. 1. The composition of the meridian system. The meridian system is composed of meridians and collaterals. 2. The meridian branch and base, root, knots, chi path, and the 4 C's. 3. The use of meridians and collaterals in the study of clinical treatment. 4. Summary. Main concepts. Meridians are channels for the circulation of qi and blood in the human body, and are made up of meridians and collaterals called jingmai and luomai, respectively. Jing has the meaning of path, and refers to its direct movement in a straight line. Luo has the meaning of network, commonly known in TCM as collateral, and are branches and sidelines of the central Jing meridians. The upper and lower vertical lines of the meridians are the main paths and constitute the main part of the meridians. The collaterals separate from the meridians and behave as horizontally and diagonally branching lines, which are the small parts of the meridian. The spiritual pivot, measuring the meridians chapter, points out the meridian is the inner aspect, the branch and the horizontal are the collaterals, and the extensions of the collaterals are the grandchildren. Meridians crisscross and spread all over the body and are an important part of the human body. The meridian system is a system composed of meridians and collaterals interconnected and connected to each other. The meridian system contains the movement of meridian qi. Meridian qi refers to the qi which passes through the meridian and its functional activities. The meridian system connects the body's tissues, organs, and limbs into an organic whole. This adjusts the entire body and moves qi and blood, regulating yin and yang, so that the whole body maintains coordination and relative balance. Meridian theory is a conceptual system that elaborates the circulation, distribution, physiological functions, and pathological changes of the human meridian system in its relation to the organs and viscera. It is an important part of the theory of traditional Chinese medicine and is essential to the clinical practice of traditional Chinese medicine, especially in acupuncture and moxibustion, where it plays a guiding role in regulating understanding of clinical experience. 1. The composition of the meridian system. The meridian system is composed of meridians and collaterals. Composition of the meridian system. The meridian system is composed of meridians and collaterals. The meridians include the 12 meridians, 8 extraordinary channels, as well as the 12 divergent meridians, the 12 sinew meridians, and the 12 skin surface meridians attached to the 12 meridians. The collaterals include the 15 collaterals, floating collaterals, and grandchild collaterals. 12 upright meridians. The 12 upright meridians are composed of 3 parts: hands, feet, yin and yang, and viscera. First, the 12 meridians are divided into 6 meridians of the hand and 6 meridians of the feet, making up a total of 12. The meridians belonging to the 6 internal organs run down the inside portion of the limbs and are the yin meridians. The meridians running along the outer side of the limbs are yang meridians. According to the law of the ebb and flow of yin and yang are divided into 3 yin and 3 yang. The 3 yin are greater yin, also known as tai yin, lesser yin, shao yin, terminal yin, zhui yin, and the 3 yang are yang brightness, yang ming, greater yang, tai yang, and lesser yang, shao yang. According to the above naming rules, the names of the 12 upright meridians are the 3 hand yin meridians: greater yin lung meridian of the hand, terminal yin meridian of the pericardium, and lesser yang meridian of the heart. The three hand-yang meridians are hand-yang brightness meridian of the large intestine, hand lesser yang meridian of the triple burner, hand greater yang meridian of the small intestine. The three yin meridians of the foot are foot greater yin meridian of the spleen, foot terminal yin meridian of the liver, foot lesser yin meridian of the kidneys. The three yang meridians of the foot are foot yang brightness meridian of the stomach, foot lesser yang gallbladder meridian, foot greater yang urinary bladder meridian. Naming conventions. The name of the 12 meridians consists of 3 parts, divided between hands and feet, yin and yang, and organ and viscera. Rules of movement. When we stand upright with both hands up, the general rule of the 12 meridians is yin rises and yang falls. The 3 yin meridians of the feet run from the feet to the abdomen and chest. The 3 yin meridians of the hands from the organs to the hands. The 3 yang meridians of the hand run from the hand to the head, and the 3 yang meridians of the foot run from the head to the foot. The distribution of the 12 meridians. The 12 meridians are symmetrically distributed on the head, face, trunk, and limbs, running through the whole body. The 6 yin meridians associated with organs, 5 organs and pericardium, are distributed on the inner side of the limbs, chest and abdomen. The inner side of the upper limbs and the 3 yin meridians of the hands. The inner side of the lower limbs are the 3 yin meridians of the feet. The 3 yang meridians are distributed on the outside of the limbs, head, face, and trunk, and are associated with the 6 viscera. The outside of the upper limbs and the 3 yang meridians of the hands, and the outside of the lower limbs and the 3 yang meridians of the feet. Distribution of head and face. The 3 yang meridians of the hands and feet meet on the head and face, so it's said the head is the meeting of all yang. Distribution characteristic. The yang ming meridian is in front, the shao yin meridian is on the sides, the tai yang meridian is on the back. The yang ming meridian runs on the face and forehead, the shao yang meridian runs on both sides of the head, and the tai yang meridian runs on the cheeks, the top of the head and the back of the head. The distribution of the trunk. The 3 yin meridians of the foot run from the toes to the abdomen and thoracic surface, and the 3 yin meridians of the hand travel from the chest to the armpit and then to the upper limbs, arriving at the fingers. The 3 yang meridians of the hand travel from the fingers to the shoulders and scapula, and the 3 yang meridians of the feet travel from the upper face to the lower body via the chest, abdomen, and back. The yang ming meridians run to the front of the body, and the greater yang meridian runs up the back. The lesser yang meridian runs along the sides of the trunk. The distribution of the 12 meridians in the abdomen and chest from the inside to the outside are the foot lesser yin kidney meridian, the foot yang brightness stomach meridian, the foot greater yin spleen meridian, and the foot terminal yin liver meridian in order. 3. Distribution of limbs. The hand meridians run on the upper limbs, the foot meridians run on the lower limbs. The yin meridians run on the inner side, and the yang meridians run on the outer side. According to the upright posture, the position with the arms drooping naturally and the thumb forward describes the distribution of the limbs as follows. The hand and foot yin meridians see the greater yin meridian in front, the terminal yin meridian in the center, and the lesser yin meridian in the back. The hand and foot yang meridians see the yang brightness meridian in the front, the lesser yang in the middle, and the greater yang in the back. However, the terminal yin liver meridian is on the outside and travels up 8 cun above the inner heel, where it moves to the front position, with greater yin on the interior and lesser yang on the outside. 4. Relationship rule. The yin and yang meridians have interior and exterior relationships with the limbs. The upper limbs, hands, have an internal and external yin and yang relationship and meet at the tips of the fingers. Greater yin lung meridian of the hand meets at the index finger. The lesser yin heart meridian and greater yang small intestine meridian meet at the tip of the little finger. The terminal yin pericardium meridian and lesser yang triple burner meridian meet at the tip of the ring finger. The lower extremity meridians have an interior-exterior relationship ending at the toes as follows. The foot yang brightness stomach meridian meets the foot greater yin spleen meridian at the tip of the big toe. The foot greater yang bladder meridian meets the foot lesser yin kidney meridian at the tip of the small toe. The foot of the lesser yang gallbladder meridian meets the foot terminal yin liver meridian at the edge of the toenail of the big toe. 2. The yang meridians with the same names of the hands and feet meet at the face. The yang brightness large intestine meridian of the hand meets the yang brightness stomach meridian of the foot at the outside of the nose. The greater yang small intestine meridian of the hand and the greater yang bladder meridian of the feet meet at the inner canthus of the eye. The lesser yang triple burner meridian of the hand and the lesser yang gallbladder meridian of the foot meet at the outer edge of the eye. Foot and hand yin meridians meet on the chest. The foot greater yin spleen meridian and lesser yin heart meridian meet in the center of the heart. The foot lesser yin kidney meridian and terminal yin meridian of the pericardium meet in the center of the chest. The foot terminal yin liver meridian and greater yin hand meridian of the lung meet at the lung center. 5. 12 meridians, external and internal relationships. The greater yin lung meridian of the hand is the interior, while the yang brightness large intestine meridian of the hand is the exterior. The terminal yin pericardium meridian of the hand is the interior, while the lesser yang triple burner meridian of the hand is the exterior. The hand lesser yin heart meridian is the interior, while the hand greater yang small intestine meridian is the exterior. The foot greater yin spleen meridian is the interior, while the foot yang brightness stomach meridian is the exterior. The foot terminal yin liver meridian is the interior, while the foot lesser yang gallbladder meridian is the exterior. The foot lesser yin kidney meridian is the interior, while the foot greater yang gallbladder meridian is the exterior. 6. Qi and blood circulation in the 12 meridians. The flow of qi and blood in the 12 meridians starts from the lung meridian and ends in the liver meridian, and then the lung meridian is reverted from the liver meridian, and the flow continues without end, thus forming a cyclical and endless circulation transfer system. The 12 meridians circulate qi and blood through the body, allowing the human body to continuously obtain subtle essence and maintain the functional activities of various organs and viscera. The circulatory flow sequence of qi and blood, commanding blood, of the 12 meridians is as follows. Starting from the middle of the chest, 1. Hand tai yin lung meridian. One hand meeting at the end of the index finger in exchange to the hand yang ming large intestine meridian. Exchanged at the side of the nose to the foot yang ming stomach meridian. Exchanged at the inner end of the big toe to the spleen meridian of tai yin of the foot, connecting to the heart, to the shao yin heart meridian of the hand. The end of the little finger is connected to the tai yang small intestine meridian of the hand. The inner canthus of the eye is connected to the tai yang bladder meridian of the foot. The end of the small toe is connected to the shao yin kidney meridian, connecting to the external junction of the chest to the hand zhui yin pericardium meridian, connecting at the circle finger end junction to the han shaoyang triple burner meridian, at the external canthus junction to the foot shaoyang gallbladder meridian, connecting at the external end junction of the big toe to the foot zhui yin liver meridian, transferring to the middle border and thorax, to the hand shao yin lung meridian, continuing to cycle in this fashion without end. Part 2, the 8 extraordinary channels. The 8 extraordinary channels are pathways within the body that connect to all of the meridians. They include the governing, conception, penetrating, bell, yin connecting, yin heel, and yang heel channels, and are collectively known as 8 extraordinary meridians. Extraordinary means different. This is because of the unique features of the extraordinary channels. The 8 extraordinary channels are different from the 12 upright meridians. They're not directly subordinate to the 12 zangfu organs and have no relationship between the outside and the inside. Therefore, they're called extraordinary channels. Also known as the meridians of channels which circulate along different paths. The channels consist of the governing Du channel, conception Ren channel, penetrating Chong channel, which originate during the development of a fetus from the perineum. They travel up the front and rear midline of the human body and on both sides of the abdomen respectively, so they're called 1 source and 3 qi. The Du channel can regulate the yang meridian qi of the whole body. Therefore, it's called the Sea of the Yang meridians. Ren Mai, or conception channel, can regulate the yin channels of the qi of the whole body, so it's called the Sea of Yin. The Chongmai, or the penetrating vessel, can contain and regulate the 12 channels, so it's called the Sea of the 12 Channels, also known as the Sea of Blood. Except for the belt channel, which circulates horizontally, the 8 extraordinary channels all circulate longitudinally, crisscrossing and distributing between the 12 meridians. The main function of the 8 extraordinary channels are reflected in 2 aspects. First, they communicate the connection between the 12 meridians, connect meridians with similar positions, and function and play a role in unifying the qi and blood of the meridians and coordinating yin and yang. Second, they assist in the accumulation and percolation of the blood in the 12 meridians. If the 12 meridians are like a river, the 8 extraordinary channels are like a lake. The general circulation, distribution, and functions of the 8 extraordinary channels is as follows. Ren channel. Along the middle of the abdomen, chest, and chin, functions as the leader of the 6 yin meridians. It regulates the 6 yin qi of the whole body, so it's called the Sea of Yin meridians. Du channel. It runs along the waist, back of head, and face in the center, and has the junction of uniting the 6 yang meridians and adjusting the yang channel energy of the entire body. It's thus called the Sea of Yang meridians. Belt channel. It runs under the ribs and circulates around the waist, appearing like a belt. It has the ability to horizontally connect the trunk. Penetrating channel. It goes together with the kidney meridian of foot Shaoyin, surrounds the lips, and is connected with Ren and Du and the stomach meridian of foot Yangming. It's called the Sea of the 12 meridians, or the Sea of Blood. The yin linking channel. It originates from the inner side of the foot tarsal and moves upward through the spleen meridian of foot Taiyin to the liver meridian of foot Juiyin until the throat, where it merges with the Ren channel. It regulates the qi of the 6 yin meridians. The yang linking channel. It runs from the inner foot together with the lesser yang liver meridian of the foot, ascending to the nape where it meets with the Du channel. It regulates the qi of the 6 yang meridians. The yin heel channel. It runs from the heel up the inner leg. It travels part of the way with the lesser yin kidney meridian upward and arrives at the corner of the eyes, meeting with the yang heel channel. It has the ability to adjust the movement of the limbs and open and close the eyes. Yang heel meridian. It rises from the outer heel and travels together with the greater yang bladder meridian, ending at the inner corner of the eye, where it meets with the yin heel channel. It has the ability to adjust the movement of the body and open and close the eyes. Oh, the Ren and Du channels have acupoints, but the other extraordinary channels do not. So, including the Ren and Du channels and the 12 upright channels, in total they're known as the 14 meridians. 15 collaterals. The 12 meridians and 2 channels of Ren and Du each have 1 collateral, plus the large collateral of the spleen. There's a total of 15. Collaterals are called the 15 collaterals. The other collaterals of the 12 meridians are all separated from the collateral points below the elbow and knee joints of the limbs in the original meridian and go to the meridians on the surface and inside of the meridian. The collaterals include collateral points on 15 lines, which are called 15 collaterals. Lia Chui is the collateral point of the greater yin meridian of the hand. Pianli is the collateral of the yang brightness meridian of the foot. Fenglong is the collateral point of the yang brightness meridian of the leg. Gongsun is the collateral point of the greater yin meridian of the leg. Tongli is the collateral point of the lesser yin meridian of the hand. Zhizhang is the collateral point of the greater yang meridian of the hand. Feichang is the collateral point of the greater yang meridian of the foot. Tajong is the collateral of the lesser yin meridian of the leg. Neiguan is the collateral point of the terminal yin meridian of the hand. Waiguan is the collateral point of the lesser yang meridian of the hand. Guangming is the collateral point of the lesser yang meridian of the leg. Ligo is the collateral of the terminal yin meridian of the leg. Changqian is the collateral point of the Du channel. Jiuwei is the collateral point of the Ren channel. Dabao is the great collateral point of the spleen. Extra collaterals of the Ren and Du channels and the large collateral of the spleen are mainly distributed in the head and body. The extra collaterals of the Ren channel are scattered on the abdomen after separating from the Jiuwei point. The other collaterals of the Du channel are scattered on the head after separating from the Changjiang point and move on the greater yang bladder meridian from left to right. The large collaterals of the spleen are scattered on the chest flank after separating from the Dabao point. Spiritual Pivot says, these 15 collaterals can be observed when they're full and are contained beneath when they're empty, so they cannot be seen. Finding the upper and lower is relative to the channels unique to each position. Thus, the collaterals also have their own differences. Aside from this, there are also a separation into collaterals which float up as they move on the surface, and floating collaterals which are very fine and small, which are known as grandchild collaterals. They're spread all over the body. They have the ability to adjust the meridians and have the ability to travel between the connecting points of the 12 meridians, allowing for the communication of inner and outer. This can help in treatment to improve the function of the 12 meridians which are when they're deficient. The trunk of the body has the Ren and Du collaterals as well as the great spleen collateral. These are spread on the abdomen, back, and sides and connect all of the meridians of the body. 4. The 12 separating meridians. The 12 separating meridians are the separate parts of the 12 upright meridians that separate, enter, exit, and merge, and are the branch channels that go deep into the body cavity. The 12 separating meridians usually go from the upright meridian near the elbow and knee joints of the limbs and lead through the torso, penetrating into the body cavity to connect with the related organs and in the upper line, head, and out the head and nape. The yang meridians combine with the meridian of the original meridian. The yin meridians are combined with the yang meridian and their inner and outer relationship. 12 meridians converge into 6 groups according to their relationship between yin and yang. This phenomenon is called the 6 harmonies. The greater yang bladder meridian of the leg connects the lesser yin meridian of the kidneys at the popliteal fossa and enters the kidney via the bladder. It ascends to the nape where it meets with the greater yang bladder meridian. The lesser yin gallbladder meridian meets with the terminal yin liver meridian on the lower leg and travels up to the border of the pubic symphysis, where it enters the liver and gallbladder and connects upward to the eyes, harmonizing with the lesser yang gallbladder meridian. The yang brightness stomach meridian and greater yin spleen meridian meet at the thigh and enter the spleen and stomach, traveling up to the nose. Finally, it harmonizes with the yang brightness stomach meridian. The greater yang small intestine meridian travels with the lesser yin heart meridian from the axilla and enters the heart and small intestine. It exits at the inner eye, meeting with the greater yang small intestine meridian. The lesser yang triple burner meridian travels with the terminal yin pericardian meridian and travels together with the channel entering the chest center. Together with the triple burner, it exits behind the ear, harmonizing with the lesser yang triple burner meridian. The yang brightness meridian of the hand and greater yin lung meridian travel from the main meridian entering the lung and large intestine. They ascend to the shen chui point and harmonize with the yang brightness large intestine hand meridian. Because the 12 separating meridians have the characteristic of separation, entry, exit, and integration between the outside and inside of the body, they do not only strengthen the internal and external connection of the 12 organs, but also strengthen the connection between internal organs of the meridian in the deep body cavity and supplement the 12 meridians. The lack of circulation of meridians inside and outside the body expands the range of indications of meridians and acupoints. For example, the 12 separating meridians connect the yin meridian of the 12 meridians with the head through the 6 harmony effect of the congruence between the surface on the outside, thereby expanding the scope of the acupoints of the 3 yin meridians of the hands and feet. The reason why the acupoints of the 3 yin meridians of the hands and feet can cure the head and face and the 5 sense organs is inseparable from the circulation of the yin meridian within the yang meridian and above to the head and face. 5. The 12 sinew meridians. The 12 sinew meridians are a system in which the qi of the 12 meridians is distributed in the joints of the bones and muscles, and is a system of muscles and sinews attached to the 12 meridians. Its cyclic distribution starts at the ends of the limbs, gathers at the joints and bones, and moves toward the head, surface of the trunk. The 12 meridian tendons run on the surface of the body and do not enter the interior. They're divided into rigid tendons and flexible tendons. Rigid yang tendons are distributed on the back of the nape and outside of the extremities, mainly in the yang meridians of the hands and feet. Soft tendons are distributed in the chest, abdomen, and inner sides of the limbs, mainly in the yin meridians of the hands and feet. The three yang meridians of the feet originate from the toes and go through the outer thigh to form a knot in the face. The tendons of the three yin meridians of the feet originate in the toes and go through the inner thigh to form a knot in the vagina. The tendons of the three yang meridians of the hands originate from the fingers. The three yang sinew meridians run through the outside and knot at the corners of the hairline of the head. The tendons of the three yin meridians of the head arise from the fingers and go through the inside, connecting at the chest. The sinew meridians restrict the movement of the skeleton, allowing for bending and straightening of the joints, and connect the entire body together for purposes of movement. The simple question discussion of atrophy says connecting all the sinews is what allows the system to work. When the sinews become ill, it's often a result of twisted sinew, painful sinew, obstructed sinew, and reducing needle techniques are typically used in treatment. The spiritual pivot sinew channel chapter says, rotate the needle to control, know its number, and treat the points. 6. 12 skin areas. The 12 skin meridians are the part of the body where functional activities of the 12 meridians are reflected on the body's surface, and it also has the place where the chi of the collaterals is dispersed. The entire area of the 12 skin parts is divided based on the distribution range of the 12 meridians on the body's surface. That is, the parts of the 12 meridians belonging to the skin. Simple question says, those wishing to know the skin areas should use the meridians as their guide, since they're the same as the meridians. Because the 12 skins are located in the outermost layer of the human body and communicate with the meridian, chi, and blood, they're the body's external barrier, which protects the body and resists external evils in response to diseases. Part 2, meridian, branch, and base, root, knots, chi, path, and the 4 C's. The connection between meridians and various parts of the body is complex, and the movement of the meridians and chi is also diverse. In addition to the content introduced above, there's also theories such as branch and base, root, knots, chi path, and 4 C's. Mastering these theories can deepen the distribution of meridians and the understanding of special laws of meridian chi movement, which can effectively guide clinical practice. 1. Branch and base. Branch and base is a special concept in Chinese medicine which can be seen in the spiritual pivot defensive chi chapter. Base means point of origin and refers to a tree root. Branch refers to the extension where the tree ends. To elaborate, the human body has both upper and lower parts. The relationship between the limbs and the head and body. Base and branch theory mainly expounds on the correspondence and connection between the 12 meridians in the body's limbs and specific parts of the head, body, and torso. Generally speaking, this part is mostly located on the upper and lower limbs, wrists, ankles, joints, and the marked body parts are mostly distributed on the head, face, chest, and back. The 12 meridians have branches and bases. For instance, the greater yang bladder meridian has a root 5 cun above the heel. Its acupoint is called fuyang. The branch is in the eyes at the jingming point. Spiritual Pivot Defensive Chi chapter says that the 12 meridians have branches and base as follows. The foot greater yang meridian bases the fuyang point, which is 5 cun above the heel. The branch is the jingming point of the eye. The foot lesser yang meridian has the base on the foot yin qiao point, qiao yin point. Its branch is in the front of the ear at the tinghui point. The foot bright yang meridian has a base at the li dui point. Its branch is at the ren ying point of the neck. The foot lesser yin meridian has a base 3 cun above the inner ankle at the fulio point. The branch is on the back on the shen shu and lianchuan points. The foot terminal yin meridian has a base which is in the xingjiang point at the zhongfeng point. Its branch is on the back of the liver shu point. The foot tai yin meridian has a base of 4 cun in front of the zhongfeng at the sanyin jiao point. Its branch is at the spleen shu and lianchuan points. The hand tai yang point has a base at the outer ankle at the yanglao point. Its branch is next to the eyes at the zanju point. The lesser yang meridian of the hand has a base 2 cun behind the little finger at the zhongzhu point. Its branch is at the sijukong point. The yangming meridian of the hand has a root above the elbow at the chuchi point. Its branch is next to the nose at the yingxiang point. The greater yin meridian of the hand has a base at the Taiyuan point. Its branches at the Zhongfu point. The lesser yin meridian of the hand has a root at the Shenmen point of the arm. Its branch is the Harchu point. The terminal yin meridian of the hand has a base behind the palm at the Neiguan and a branch 3 cun under the axilla at Tianchi. Base and branch theory can be divided in an early form of the 12 meridians theory. It pays attention to the distal parts of the limbs and at the same time has realized the connection with the head and face, specific parts of the trunk, and certain internal organs. It further explains the principles of acupoints below the elbows and knees on the limbs to treat diseases of the viscera and the head, face, and facial features that are far away. Root knot theory. Root knot refers to the origin and return of meridian qi, reflecting the relationship between the upper and lower levels of meridian qi. Root refers to root or beginning, that is the well point at the end of the limbs. Knot refers to knot on the head, chest, or abdomen. The Biao Fu says, you must investigate the 4 roots and 3 knots acupuncture according to branches and base, and this can cure all. The 4 roots and 3 knots here means the 12 meridians take the limbs as the roots, and the head and chest and abdomen as the knots. The roots of the 12 meridians are all at the Jing points on the distal ends of the limbs, while the knots are on the head, face, chest, and abdomen. The root knot theory mainly elaborates on the starting and ending positions of the qi of the 6th channel of the foot and the relationship between the starting and ending positions. Generally speaking, the root is the Jing point of the 6 foot meridians at the end of the lower limbs, and the knots are the certain parts of the organs, head or face, chest, or abdomen. The Spiritual Pivot Root Knot chapter says that there are 3 leg yin and 3 leg yang roots which have knots. Below we will discuss them. The meridians are roots and the collaterals are knots. In the Taiyang meridian, Zhi Yin is the root and Mingmed is the knot. In the Yangming meridian, Li Dui is the root and the forehead ear is the knot. In the lesser yin meridian, Yongchuan is the root and Lianchuan is the knot. In the lesser yang meridian, Qiao Yin is the root and Chuang Long is the knot. In the terminal yin meridian, Da Dun is the root and Yu Ying or Tanzhong is the knot. In the Tai Yin meridian, Yin Bai is the root and Tai Chang on the stomach is the knot. The root and base of the 12 meridians are similar to the same position and similar meaning. Root has the meaning of original and knot has mark. The root and basic parts are at the bottom where the meridian qi originates, and the knot or mark position is at the top where the meridian qi condenses and gathers with the home of essential qi. But they're different in specific content. That is, the root above has a base. There's the base outside of the branch, indicating the scope of the base and branch is wider than that of the root and knot. The base and branch theory emphasizes the corresponding relationship between upper and lower parts of the meridian distribution, while the root knot theory emphasizes the connection between the meridian and poles of the qi. Base and branch and root and knot theory supplement the flow and operation of meridian qi, that is, the diversity of diffusion of meridian qi circulation, emphasizes the close connection between human limbs and head and body, and further explains that the acupoints below the elbow and knee of the limbs treat distant parts. The principles of diseases of the viscera and facial features. Qi paths. Qi path theory is the idea that channel qi collects and moves along certain joint pathways. The Spiritual Pivot Defensive Qi chapter says the chest qi has a path, the abdomen qi has a path, the head qi has a path, thigh qi has a path. Spiritual Pivot Moving Transfer chapter says the 4 paths are the road of qi. To say it more clearly, the head, chest, abdomen, and thigh are all paths along which qi moves. The Spiritual Pivot Defensive Qi chapter views this as follows. When the qi is in the head, it stops in the brain. When the qi is in the chest, it stops at the bosom and back. When the qi is in the abdomen, it stops at the back shu and meets with the penetrating channel and umbilicus, left and right arteries. When the qi is in the thigh, it's in the qi path and travels from Chengshan at the ankle downward. From this we can see that the qi paths are mainly horizontal and are distributed on the upper and lower body and in the characteristics of being close to the viscera and connecting back and forth. It's divided into head, chest, abdomen, and shin longitudinally as its core content. The chi pathways theory has certain principles of movement which can be of assistance in understanding the theory of treatment. The 4 Cs. The 4 Cs are a general term for the sea of marrow, sea of blood, sea of chi, and sea of water and grains. Sea is the place where waters and rivers gather. They're a place prepared for subtle substances such as human blood essence. Meridian theory believes that chi and blood that prevail in the 12 meridians are like the flow of water on Earth, like river returning to the sea. Therefore, the Ling Shu Sea theory points out man has a sea of marrow, a sea of blood, a sea of chi, and a sea of water and grains. All of these 4 resonate together. The parts of the 4 Cs are similar to the parts of the chi path. The sea of marrow is located on the head. The sea of chi is located on the chest. The sea of water is located. The sea of water and grains is located on the upper abdomen, and the sea of blood is located on the lower abdomen. The parts are connected to each other. The 4 Cs preside over the body's chi, blood, and body fluids. Among them, the brain marrow sea is the home of the soul, the source of vitality, the master of activities, and the viscera and meridians. The chest in the sea of chi, where the chi gathers in the heart and breathes. The stomach is the sea of water and grains, and is the place where the chi and blood are transformed into source energy. That is the original chi and commander blood. The Chongmai is the sea of the 12 meridians, which originates from the uterus, and is accompanied by the foot Shaoyin kidney meridian ascending. The foundation of the meridians, the origin of the triple energizer chi, is the driving force of the human body's life activities, also known as the sea of blood. The 4 Cs theory further explains the composition and source of meridian chi. The diseases of the 4 Cs are mainly divided into 2 categories, excess and deficiency, and clinical treatment can be based on this differential treatment. 3. The use of meridians and collaterals in the study of clinical treatment. 1. Connects the organ and viscera, inner and outer. The Ling Shu article, Hailun, or Discussion of the Sea, points out the 12 meridians belong to the internal organs and the external limbs. The human body's internal organs, 6 limbs and 100 bones, 5 sense organs, 9 orifices, skin, muscles, bones, and other tissues and organs can keep relative the coordination and unity of the human body, and the completion of normal physiological activities are achieved by the communication of the meridian system. The meridians and sinew meridians, the 8 extraordinary channels, the 15 collaterals, and crisscrossed entering the outside and out of the surface, connecting the upper and lower parts of the body. The meridians and skin connect the muscles and skin of the limbs. Floating collaterals and grandchild collaterals connect the subtle parts of the body. In this way, the meridians connect the human body into an organic whole. The communication function of the meridians is also reflected in the conduction function of the meridians. The body surface feels pathogens and various stimuli which can be transmitted to the viscera. If the physiological function of the viscera is abnormal, it can also be reflected on the body's surface. These are the concrete manifestations of the communication function of the meridians. 2. Moving qi and blood, nourishing the whole body. The Ling Shu Bentang article points out, the meridians therefore promote blood and yin and yang, strengthen the muscles and bones, and benefit the joints. Qi and blood are the material basis of human life activities, and all tissues and organs of the body can only get the warmth of qi and blood nourishment, and nourishment can complete normal physiological functions. Meridians are the channels through which the body's qi and blood run. They can distribute nutrients to all tissues and organs of the body so that the viscera and organs can be nourished. The muscles and bones can be moisturized and the joints can be benefited. 3. Fighting pathogens and protecting the body. Yin qi travels in the vessels and wei qi travels outside the vessels. The meridians and collaterals promote qi and blood so that the qi of yin and wei is densely distributed all over the body. When external evil invades the human body from the surface to the outside, it starts from the skin and enters inside. Qi is enriched in the collaterals and veins, is scattered throughout the body and defends it. As the Su Wen Miao Culun chapter says, the evil guest in the body must first arrive on the body hair, stay but not let go, settle in the grandson luo, stay but not let go, settle in the collateral channel, stay but not let go, and is placed on the meridians, connecting with the 5 internal organs scattered in the stomach. 2. Meridians and collaterals for clinical use. Explaining pathological change. A meridian is the communication system of the human body to communicate with the inside and outside. When the physiological function is distorted, it is also a way for the transformation of disease and evil, which has the characteristics of responding to the disease. For example, in the pathological process of some diseases, obvious tenderness or nodules, cords, and other reactants, as well as changes in the skin color, shape, and temperature of the corresponding parts, often appearing in the circulation pathway of the meridians. Pathological condition of the disease can be inferred by looking at the color, touching the reaction along the meridian, and pressing. 2. Differentiating returning meridian. Differentiating the syndromes of meridians to identification of disease meridians by analyzing the patient's symptoms, signs, and pathological changes in related parts. Differentiation of syndromes in signs is guided by meridian theory, such as headache, pain of the forehead, and is often related to the Yang meridian. Pain on both sides is often related to the Shaoyang meridian, and the pain in the nape is mostly related to the Taiyang meridian. Vertex pain is mostly related to the Du channel and the liver channel of the foot Jui Yin. This is based on the characteristics of the distribution of the head and meridians, clinically according to the symptoms that appear, combined with the viscera to which they're connected. The syndrome differentiation can be carried out, such as cough, nasal congestion, clear tears, chest tightness or pain on the upper side of the chest, and inner front edge of the upper limbs, etc., which are related to the Tai Yin lung meridian of the hand. The abdominal distension, flank pain, loss of appetite, belching, and acid reflux are related to the foot Yangming stomach meridian of the foot and the Jui Yin liver meridian. 3. Guiding acupuncture and moxibustion treatment. Acupuncture and moxibustion treatment requires use of needling or ignited mugwort applied to the surface of the meridians and collaterals of the body and the acupoints. It can be used to dredge channels, qi, or adjust the organs and viscera of the body, as well as the function of the blood and qi associated with them. From this, it's possible to obtain the results of disease treatment. The choice of acupoints and needling method in acupuncture and moxibustion are two major features of treatment which guide acupuncture along the meridian and collaterals. Acupuncture and moxibustion clinical treatment must accord with the movement of the meridians and the use of specific features of selected meridians and points. The four collected acupoint song says, remain in Sanli to treat the belly, call upon Weizhong for wrist and back, for head and nape use Liachui, face and mouth collect Hegu. This is how to follow the channels and select points according to the correct principle. The organ illnesses can be treated using cutaneous level insertion or entering more deeply into the skin. For instance, if the stomach area is sore, it's possible to use the cutaneous level at Zhongwan and Weishu, or it is also possible to insert the needle more deeply into the skin. In cases of meridian being blocked and having qi and blood stagnation and stasis, the needle may be used to bleed the meridian. If the eyes are red and swollen, and the Taiyang point may be bled. There are many other similar principles which may be applied in treatment. 4. Summary. Meridians are pathways through which qi and blood move in the human body. They connect to the internal organs and viscera and communicate internally and externally, and connect to the upper and lower body, forming the system of meridians, vessels, and collateral vessels in the body. 1. Meridian system. The meridians include 12 upright meridians, 8 extraordinary channels, 12 divergent meridians, 12 sinew meridians, 12 cutaneous areas, while the collaterals form the 15 collaterals, floating and grandchild collaterals. The 8 extraordinary channels include the Ren and Du channels, which each have their own points, and together with the 12 upright meridians form the 14 meridians. The 14 meridians have a definite pattern of movement, and when someone becomes ill, the points may be located in order to differentiate the symptoms of the channel. The function of the 15 collaterals, the 4 limbs contain the 12 meridians and extra collaterals, which assist in the connection of the 12 meridians' internal and external relationship, allowing for the qi of the meridians to communicate both internally and externally. This can be taken advantage of when the 12 channels are insufficient by using the collaterals to strengthen them. The torso of the body has the Ren and Du meridians, extra collaterals, as well as the great spleen collateral, which assist in connecting the abdomen and back, as well as the channel qi of the entire body. Functions of the separating 12 meridians. Because the 12 meridians have the characteristics of separation, entry and exit, and integration between the outside and inside of the person, They do not only strengthen the internal and external connections of the 12 meridians, but also strengthen the internal and external connections of the meridian in the deep body cavity. The connection of the 12 meridians complements the lack of circulation of the 12 meridians inside and outside the body and expands the scope of meridian points. For example, the 12 meridians connect the yin meridians with the 12 meridians of the head through the six harmony effect of the combination of outer and inner meridians, thereby expanding the scope of acupuncture points of the three yin meridians of the hand and foot. Therefore, the acupoints of the three yin meridians of the hand and foot can also treat diseases of the head and face. 12 sinew meridians are subordinate to the 12 meridians are located in the system that connects the superficial tendons and muscles of the human body. They start from the fingernails at the end of the limbs, not at the joints, ascend the neck, and end at the head and face without connecting to the internal organs. The circulation of the meridians and the sinew meridians are mostly consistent, but their functions are based on different characteristics. The sinew meridians are treated to cure diseases, mostly turning tendons, muscle pain, arthalgia, etc. The principle of acupuncture and moxibustion treatment is mostly local acupoints to relieve them. The 12 cutaneous regions. These represent the external aspect of the body and are connected to the chi of the meridian and the collaterals. This area is used to protect the exterior of the body and plays a role of protecting the body, resisting external evils, and responding to diseases. Clinical acupuncture treatment mostly uses skin acupuncture and moxibustion. Reference. In which chapter does Neijing Ling Shu tell us about meridian circulation? The Ling Shu 10th chapter is a discourse regarding the 12 meridians and the 15 collaterals. The Ling Shu 11th chapter is a discourse regarding the 12 divergent meridians. The Ling Shu 13th chapter is a discourse regarding the 12 sinew meridians. The Ling Shu 17th chapter is a discourse about the three yin and three yang channels, yin qiao, yang qiao, du, and ren, explaining that men mainly use yang qi channels as their meridians and women mainly use yin qi channels as their meridians. 2. The surface and base, root, knot, chi path, and the 4 C's of the meridians. The meridians and collaterals are connected in a diverse and complex fashion, with chi moving in the meridians in many ways. And from the above stated information, there are also branch and base, root and knot, chi path, and 4 C's. The 12 meridians, root and base, and knot and branch, are located in similar places. The main meaning of root and base and the main meaning of knot and branch. Root and base are beneath and are where the meridian chi originates. Knot and branch are above and where the meridian chi collects and where it arrives. Nevertheless, their basic meaning does have some differences. The root has a base above the knot, has a branch outside. To clarify, the branch and base have relatively small amount of scope as compared to root and knot. Typically, branch and base theory is strong in its discussing of top and bottom, while root and knot theory is strong in its discussion of the two extremes of the body. The branch and base, root and knot theory is mainly focused on the idea of chi moving toward the heart in the meridians. It flows and collects, and the meridian chi has many different ways in which it can move. This can help the body in the circulation of chi to the head and the body from the limbs. This can help in clinic by using the points under the knees and collecting and elbows to treat the 5 orifices of the face. The branches and base, roots and knots theory can also show us the development of early concepts of meridians traveling for the heart, and shows us how distant points on the limbs can affect the head and face, as well as how the organs and the central body may be affected by these points. To explain more clearly, distal points on the body may be used to treat the organs, head and face. Reference. The 3 classics devoted to the centripetal flow of meridian chi, namely Genji 5th, Wei Qi 52nd, and second transmission, are included in the spiritual pivot and can be speculated based on the direction of meridian chi. The clinical treatment of circulation to the heart theory, such as acupuncture, was the mainstream of medicine before the book was written, and was also very active for a period of time after the book was written. Chi paths. Chi paths are the place where the chi of the meridians collects and moves along a pathway. For instance, the head, chest, abdomen, and thigh are all pathways along which chi moves. The 4 C's are the marrow C, blood C, chi C, and C of water and grains. The 4 C's are similar to the location of the chi pathways. The C of marrow is in the head, the C of chi is in the chest, the C of water and grain is in the upper abdomen, and the C of blood is in the lower abdomen. They each interact with one another. Chi pathways and 4 C's are mainly horizontally oriented and spread along the upper and lower regions of the body. They strengthen the organs and viscera and connect to the front and back of the body. They also horizontally connect the meridians, collaterals, and separate the head, chest, abdomen, and thigh. The qi pathways theory explains the rules of the movement of qi and relates to the combination of points in clinical treatment. The pathways of qi and qi-ci's usage. 2.1, Su and Mu points in the front and back can be chosen in accordance with these principles. 2.2, Miao Ting Fa. For illness of the left, we can choose a point on the right and vice versa. 2.3, follows the theory of penetrating with the needles. 3, meridian and collateral usage in clinic. 3.1, meridian and collateral usage. 3.1.1, connects the organs and viscera inner and outer. 3.1.2, moves qi and blood, nourishes the entire body. 3.1.3, provides protection to the body against pathogens and illness. 3.2, clinical use. 3.2.1, explains the theory of illness. 3.3.2, differentiates the meridian to be used. 3.2.3, guides acupuncture and moxibustion treatment. My personal take. The ancient doctors of China discovered the principles of the living body and how to control and adjust the body, harmonizing it in order to allow it to heal itself. The meridians and collaterals are a major aspect of this understanding. Thanks for watching.